What's your worst take? My worst take? I think a lot of my takes are pretty bad. I don't know. Chat, pick your favorite bad take of mine. Fahrenheit's better than Celsius. Oh, that's my favorite one. Yeah, I think Fahrenheit's better objectively. I don't feel that deeply about it, but I pretended on stream I felt really deeply about it, and I just sat there and ranted about it for like 20 minutes and got so many people so heated in chat because I have a lot of European viewers. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make this take that I do firmly believe, not for any good reason. I'm just more comfortable with it. That's all. That's the only reason why I think it's better. What's the boiling point in Fahrenheit? 212. But I would sit there and I would just explain it in all these mechanical ways for like 25 minutes, and it just got people so heated, and it was so funny. Fahrenheit is better for humans. You want to hear what the take was that I like the stuff I was saying to make them angry? I was telling them that it's better because as a person, you can hear the difference, or you can feel the difference between 1 degree Fahrenheit, okay? If it's 70 degrees in here, which is like a relatively comfortable temperature, and I change it up to 71, I can feel the difference. So I sat there for like 30 minutes telling the chat about how it's so much better for human life to use a more simplified and specific scale. Instead of doing point this, point that, just have the whole degrees be something you could feel the difference between. That makes sense though. It does, but I was just talking out my ass. I don't care deeply about it at all, but they were so mad, man. That was one of my favorite times on stream. Oh, they were so upset. And all the Americans were like, yep, but I said it early into stream when it was like a lot more Europeans. You know? Oh, it's my favorite. And then they would be like, but it's so easy to remember 0 and 100. And then I'd start going off on them. I'd start being like, yeah, but when does anyone really live at 0 degrees? I was just saying shit. I was like, when does anyone really live at 0 degrees and go, oh, it's too cold? No, we experience temps below that very often. So why do we have to talk about temperatures that we live in all the time by going into the negatives? No, Fahrenheit freezing's 32 and we go down to the single digits, and we experience this as people many times. I just like talking, man. Bringing the geek temp scale. Yeah, we got 4 degrees. We got 0. 0's really fucking cold, and it's like just below where people will ever experience the temps. Then -1 is like ultra freezing. Okay, and that's like we're getting into scientific levels of ultra freezing. That's what you're experiencing out in space. Okay, then you go back up. -1 is the lowest. Then 0, which you're not likely to experience. Then you got 1. Okay, 1 is like normal human living temperature, is close to your body temp, and then you got 2, and 2 is like really fucking hot. Okay, that's the geek temperature scale. Right now, it's like somewhere between 1 and 2, somewhere around there. I don't know. Never understand feet and yards. A foot is 12 inches. Why is it 12? Cause it is, bro. Cause it's 12, bro. Cause it's cool. And then instead of using like 0.5 for ½ an inch, you write it in fractions. You say 1/2. What's an inch? Approximately, this is gonna be different for everyone, but approximately, if you look at the end of your thumb and you take the last chunk of your thumb from the joint out to the end of like the nail bed, that's about an inch-ish, if you're trying to guesstimate. Somewhere around there. Now, you may have big thumbs, you may have small thumbs, but it's somewhere around there. 12 of those makes a foot, which is about the length of like a normal foot in a lot of adult men, kind of, I guess. And then you take 3 feet, and that's a yard. And there you go. Now you're American. That's all you gotta know. Imperial system is weird. If you grow up with it, not at all. I actually think I don't really care about it existing in the exact measurements that it exists in, but I do actually like that it splits into 12. Because when you're doing a lot of practical things in construction and you're doing things in homes, it's nice to be able to split things into thirds. And sometimes when things are not in base 12, that is very annoying. Or I say base 12, but you know what I mean. It's not literally base 12, it's just into 12 parts. But yeah, it's nice. 12 centimeters also splits into 12. Yeah, but then meter doesn't split into, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't split into 12. You're not getting it. Split a meter into thirds right now. You're building a house. It's a colonial style house. So you want 3 rooms when you look at it from the front. You want a left room, a middle room, and a right room. And you want them to all be 1/3 of the house. The house is a meter long, split into nice thirds. 33.3 repeating centimeters. Yeah, not clean. But when building things using fractions is very nice. Fun fact, lumber is more commonly available in multiples of 1.2 meters than 1 meter. Oh, look at that. It's because it's used in practical uses in building, and that was something that was just used more commonly in the Americas. So that's just how it was. That's who was here early, and what they were doing early was building because they just brought people and dumped them on the the shores. Fractions are a plague upon math. That's just because you're not used to them. And you can't tell me that. I'm a math goblin. You can't tell me that. Math was my most favorite thing in the world. I think people gripe too much about imperial. It's very easy to understand both systems for the average person. Yeah, you're giving me not willing to learn because it's too hard vibes. Like, you wouldn't be arguing so much if you just read it and went, oh, cool, that makes sense too. It's just different. But you don't, because you're a stupid, dumb idiot. Clearly. Actually, it's good for working on cars. It's almost like different things have good purposes in different situations. There you go. Working in GC fractions are awesome. It's just about application, man. That's all it is. Some things get displayed in percentages. Some things get displayed in hard counts. Because there are just different uses, man. That's how it is. I always thought fractions to be an abstraction over counts. It's just a type of calculation that you are not hard calculating in the moment. You're using it to represent an idea. Like if I hold up a glass of water and I say half of this, you can look at it and picture half. You can abstract half. And then once you get a proper measurement, in any measurement, you can then calculate half, right? That's all fractions are. And they're really, really nice when you're talking about things that need to scale up and down instead of recalculating every single time. This is really good when you're computing something, actually. Sorry, I don't want to rant too much on this, but really, really good in compute. You give something a way to calculate a thing instead of having something calculate a thing all the time, every time you change the values in an equation. It's just very, very basic. When you're computing something, you're telling a computer how to do a thing. You're setting a script up, let's say. And you're like, every time you get this number in from a source and X is something, have it. Right, that's efficient. But if you said, here's what half of 1 is, here's what half of 2 is, here's what half of 3 is, well, and gave it a whole list and then said, okay, when you get a number in, match it to this chart and then tell me the output. You see what I mean? Like one of these, they're both taking half of something, but one of these ways is efficient and one isn't. This is a use for giving someone an abstraction of what you want to do beforehand, which is why you have formulas, etc., right? And then using something like a fraction is nice because when you're using it in a visual setting, very easy to understand. Yeah, like cooking. Cooking is a really good normal setting that you might be using this in often. So basically, you're able to tell people the ratios between things. So if I know when I'm baking, I have a cup of this and then a half cup of that and then a third cup of that, you've just told me all the ratios of them between each other. So if I want to now use a different number system, I want to use grams or whatever, I can change that recipe over to metric very easily because I have the ratios between everything right in front of me in the form of fractions. Easy. Super, super easy, right? But if I've got a recipe in metric where it's like use this many grams of this, that many grams of that, I have to sit there and calculate what those ratios between everything are first. And then I have to go measure them out in some sort of American unit, right? Annoying. So fraction's good. Fraction's good because it's applicable to everything. And if you don't agree, I don't care.
Business calculus, problem stats, here's some easy math.
Yeah.
Code Geega for 10% or 1/10 off your stuff.
Ooh.
Tons of places.
I should start asking my affiliates if I can be like, hey, can I say get 1/10 off? I want to piss off the Europeans. Can I put 1/10 off? Is this part of the Streamer University class? Oh my god, imagine going to Streamer University as a professor and then you're just like, I'm gonna make you learn math. Wait, that would be such a good class, Streamer Math. Oh, Streamer Math would be great. That would be really funny. And then you just give them like practical problems. How much money should you set aside if you are this type of streamer, you make this per month? How much money should you set aside for your taxes before the end of the year? Right? Like really basic stuff like that. Like no crazy calculations, but just giving them approximations so they don't run into financial trouble. That would actually be pretty funny. And doing that with people's stats too. You've got this many viewers here. Your video's sent to do this, whatever. A sponsorship comes in that has these deliverables of this kind, that kind, that kind. How much should you charge? Right? Streamer math. I think stuff like that would be cool.